What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday over here still, and we have Bitcoin currently at about almost 27.9K, trying to get back on top of that 28K level. Very strong resistance. I've been talking about this all morning and basically a lot of last week as well, just expecting this resistance because we do have quite a bit of sell pressure as well as major moving averages at that area. We're gonna take a look into that very quickly. I don't want to take up too much time because the main topic of this post is going to be about Parsiq, PRQ token, and see what's going on in this market. Gonna be taking a look into some upside and downside price targets for this coin, as well as some key price levels to be paying attention to in order for this coin to be going either direction. Let's see if this coin still has any chance of breaking out of its downtrend that has been on for quite some time, okay? Otherwise, there could be more downside. We're going to look at the charts for Parsiq and see what's really going on in here, okay? I'm going to be sharing with you guys my personal opinion and sentiment on this overall crypto market as a whole later in this video, so make sure to stay around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal opinions and speculations. I could very well be wrong. I am not a financial advisor nor an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear market. But I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into the video. All right, so we do have PRQ here currently at about 5.3 cents, down over 2% today. On this weekly time frame is going to be my focus for this token because it's been running within this falling wedge pattern for quite some time, okay, since the beginning of this year, right? February of this year. And it's been a pretty steep drop from about that 20 cents area down back here to about that 5 cents area right now, right? From what I can see here, it is basically at or very close to its all-time low, right? And it's very close to this bottom trend line as well. So this bottom trend line as of this week's candle would be about 5 cent area, so very close. If it breaks this pattern here, that would not be looking good for this coin, right? At least in the short term. Now, falling wedges are usually bullish patterns, however, right? It is usually bullish. If this price action does break to the upside here, let me straighten up this top trend line real quick, okay? And then we do have a measure move, which is taken by the measuring the opening of the pattern and then putting it on top of a future breakout date. Let's just say, for example, if it breaks out by in 2 weeks, okay? Because basically, at the end of this pattern, the top and the bottom trend line there is going to get very close to each other. So even though it's very close to this bottom trend line right now, it is still not that far away from this upward trend line, okay? So let's just say, for example, okay, it does not have to break out by in 2 weeks. It could break out sooner or later. I'm just picking a reasonable breakout date so I can put the measure target, put the measurement on top of it and get a measure target. And if it breaks out within 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, then we get a measure target of about 16 cents area, okay? Now, measure targets are estimates only. Do your own Google searches on what measure targets, falling wedges, and some of these trading concepts I am talking about mean on Google, right? It's free. It's public knowledge. Please go ahead and learn these concepts for yourself if you want to survive in this market in the long run, okay? Now, let's take a look into the daily time frame. Let's see if we can get any clues on what could be going on, right? Let's see if is there a bullish pattern here or if there's a bearish pattern here on this daily time frame, because that could give me some clues on if this is going to be breaking to the upside or downside, at least with more increased accuracy. Okay, so I'm not seeing a particular pattern here on this daily time frame. Let's see on the 4-hour. Okay, is there anything that we could be seeing here on the 4-hour? This looks like a falling wedge on the 4-hour as well. Okay. This passes as a falling wedge for me. Let me see here. Can we get... All right. Let's come down to the 2-hour because we can see more candles closer to the bottom trend line here. Okay. Or even the hourly. I just like seeing as many candles touching as possible on the on each trend line, even though what makes it valid is 3 candles touching, right? But there are some exceptions. If the candles are very close but not touching, I would still consider it, right? In this case, we don't have 3 candles touching, but we do have the 3rd candle there being pretty close. I'm going to consider this to be a falling wedge as well. So we have a falling wedge within a bigger falling wedge. So that's a bullish pattern within a bigger bullish pattern, right? So now let's take a look here. Let's get a measure target out of the smaller falling wedge. Take the measurement out of out of the opening of the pattern. And then putting it on top of a future breakout date. Let's just say if it breaks out by October 3rd, tomorrow, that will give us a measure target of about almost 6.5 cents area, okay? That is not quite back up to this upper trend line, right, of the bigger falling wedge pattern, but it gets you closer, and then at that time you could probably rechart what's going on with the price action, then basically applying the same method here and see if you get a bullish pattern or a bearish pattern, and what the measured targets of those patterns are. Then you could you could very much increase your accuracy of what's going on the bigger time frame, right? Of course, this also has to take into consideration of what's going on in Bitcoin. That is the single most important chart, right? It's gonna be Bitcoin first, and then it's gonna be your altcoin setups, right? That is my thought process, right? That's just me, and that's how I think about it. Okay. So given everything we have here, we also have to consider Bitcoin as the first things first. Okay. Now let's take a look into some key price levels. This price action does need to break in order to get to the upside. I mean, you're gonna have your weekly moving averages on top of the bigger pattern here. Weekly 21 SMA at about that 8.3 cents area. Weekly 50 SMA, the gray line here, at about almost 10 cents area, okay? Monthly moving average is way out there. It's about the 12 cents area, the blue line. And you guys can do the same drill for the 3-day, the daily, and whatever time frames you guys are looking at. I'm not going to do that here for time's sake, and it's going to bore the shit out of you. So I'm not going to do that here. Let's take a look. You can also do that for you can also look into past trading history for key supports and resistances as well. So do that as well. Don't ignore that. We can do some of that here for support, but basically we're at all-time highs here, so referring to past trading history is kind of useless, right? So let's come back down here. The only other estimate I can give you, it's not going to be based on past trading history for key support here because we're already at all-time low. The only other estimate I can give you is going to be based off this bottom trend line off this bigger falling wedge pattern, which would be at that 5 cent area, and then continue lower this bottom trend line here. If you guys agree with what I'm saying, you guys can chart this on your own and basically estimate that. That is, of course, given that this price action does not break this bigger falling wedge pattern. If it actually breaks it, we're going to have to come back here and rechart what's going on in the markets. So if enough of you guys want to see this, an update on Parsiq, do make sure to like, subscribe, comments. I will bring you guys an update on this coin if enough of you guys want to see it. Let's take a look into Bitcoin real quick. Okay, Bitcoin right now, getting rejected by that the daily 200 SMA. You got your weekly 200 SMA and your weekly 21 SMA in that 28K zone as well. Okay, so something to definitely be keeping an eye out on, because it's going to be a very volatile situation right now, right? On even the 15-minute time frame on this falling wedge, that's on this 15-minute time frame, that's basically formed from when Bitcoin hit 28.6K. The bottom here so far is about 27.6K. Definitely want to see a breakout of this, which usually breaks to the upside, but definitely want to keep an eye out on this. If in case it does break down, because that's still possible. So that's basically what I'm seeing here. I am overall still long on this market as a whole. I am long on quite a bit of these altcoins. But if Bitcoin starts breaking 24.7K, I will very much likely have to change my opinion. Okay, that's basically what I'm seeing here. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.